to the Know Thyself Network.
Hello and welcome to the first of many introduction videos into Gematria. My name is Daniel. I'm the co-host of the Know Thyself podcast, and I am embarking on this journey with each and every one of you. Now, out of all the esoteric sciences, Gematria is the one that garners the most mystery. You've seen books on the tarot. You've seen books on astrology. You've seen books on numerology. How many books have you seen on Gematria? Especially when it comes to the process and the technique of Gematria. There are amazing publications out there. And we will, as part of this video series, we are going to explore, and I will share some of the individuals that have inspired me and have helped my journey on educating myself through Gematria. But there's very few how-to courses that are going to help an individual become a practitioner in the oldest subject in the world. Now, today, we're not really jumping into any of the concepts. What we're really looking at today is almost a disclaimer, I should say, that this is going to be something that we have to develop slow. We have to make sure when we are moving through this process of Gematria that we fortify all of the principles and create a very sturdy foundation. Gematria can provide insight and understanding of what's happening in the world that no other modality comes even close to. But if it has this capacity to give you such a deep understanding and clarity, that means its opposite polarity is ultimate illusion. This is a very sensitive tool to work with. And as we approach it, we are going to go through it step by step on how to develop a foundation that will serve you rather than mislead you with a mirage in the desert. Like I said, there will be many resources shared, many recommendations of Gematria decoders, many tools that you can access, as well as books that can assist you on this journey. But when it comes to this video series, we're going to go slow and deliberate to make sure that we can develop a foundation that you can build from. Now, this course is not going to be about decoding, or are we going to be decoding any like sporting events or major events? That's not what this is. Now, I will give you some of the best recommendations of individuals for which you can go and explore yourself if that's something that you're interested in. What this is going to do is give us a 101 approach to what Gematria is, how it's used, and most importantly, what are the responsible steps to be able to approach this in a disciplined way and not lose ourselves to illusion. With great power comes great responsibility. And this subject, I don't think there's a greater example of that. Gematria is the language of the entire spiritual construct. And even as we begin to explain what it is, we're going to start simple. We're going to start fundamental. So depending on where you are in your discovery of Gematria, I really ask for you to refrain from any response and the knee-jerk reaction of, oh no, that's not just what it is. Or No, it's deeper than that. Because step by step, even when it comes to what this tool actually is and how it's operating in our reality, we have to go in a practical, responsible way. And this is going to be a video series that will never end. And as we go, it will get more esoteric and deeper. But it's so important to build the foundation, the housing unit of principles and structure. So as we approach the more deeper aspects of this, you don't crack. This is a subject that can be a slippery slope. Um, a lot of people will tell you about their experience with it. They feel like they could be losing their minds. And it will push you in certain moments where you question your reality. But if you do it in a way of proper fortification, you will allow for this subject to enrich you rather than feeling like you're drowning in being overwhelmed. And so, like I was speaking of, depending if you're new to this subject or you've been practicing it for 20, 30 years, please refrain from your response and your reaction to be like, oh no, it's more than that. It's not just that. We're going to do it together, and we're going to make this journey down this way in this pacing that not only can new practitioners feel comfortable, but also to help mend and fortify maybe the foundation of advanced practitioners that did not have the allowance for all of these principles to be presented, especially in the way that we're going to try to do that. Simple. We're very much going to try to demystify this subject as we make our way through. And then as we demystify it and we really understand how it's just physically interacting with this reality and operating, well, then we give it space and an opportunity for the mysticism to come in and enrich us in a way that's beyond anything that I could ever say or we could ever put into a book. And that's truly what you're doing in all esoteric subjects. All you're doing when you're reading a book, even on astrology, when you're reading a book on the tarot or studying any of them, it's not so much you're memorizing the knowledge, but you're building a container, a housing unit that's able to have a structure so that universal life force, that wisdom, can localize itself within and bring deeper enrichment. You're not studying the esoteric and the occult like subjects in school when you're trying to use flashcards and memorizing. Yeah, is memorization a part of the process? Absolutely. Is it everything? Not at all. No, you're an antenna. You're the radio. And the transmission is coming from that universal life force. And as you build containers, not only do you have the structure to be able to instill and bring in this deeper wisdom, but you're also activating the will to show that there's a desire. It's like an initiation. You don't need to go to a mystery school or a secret society to get initiated and to show the universe that you're ready to take the next step. No, that's just kind of a carnival. It all happens internally. It happens independently. And where we find ourselves in time currently, and I'm speaking about this on March 25th, 2026, the individual's antenna capacity has a potential that they have never experienced before. It's not a new chapter after these transits. It's a new book. And the tools that we're going to be needed to survive and navigate what is coming for us in the future, I can't think of a better tool than this. And so please be patient through this process. It could get frustrating. It could get repetitive, but trust the process. Fortify with principles. Understand understand why we're approaching it in this demystified way and how this really gives space for a deeper eternal wisdom to localize itself within your own spiritual structures for which you are the carpenter of. And so this video is truly just an introduction and just a pre-warning of the pacing. But I promise you, if you're a beginner or an advanced, there's going to be enrichment by approaching it in these ways. Now, am I trying to state that I am the best Gematria decoder? Absolutely not. No, those are very special individuals. But we will even explore how they're able to do the process in such an accelerated rate and how, because they learn the science of it, now the art and the intuition is assisting them. Right off the bat of my mind, I think of two amazing decoders. And we're going to speak about these individuals often. One is Derek, who's the creator of the Gematrinator, which is going to be your number one tool that you're going to access and utilize through this whole exploration process. It's the best Gematria calculator that you could find, and it's always expanding in its capacity to serve the seeker of number mysteries deeper and deeper. And Derek and another individual who I have the highest honor for is Cody from Decoding with Cody. Now, these individuals have spent so much time in the science, in the foundations of their number understanding, that their intuition guides them to be able to crack and track codes in a rate that seems almost impossible. And that's what we're looking to do. We're looking just to create a structure in a container so this enlightened force of this eternal father and mother can work through us and provide this insight and guidance. And this will make more sense as we go. And I'll give you examples of this, and we'll actually break down their process and look at just how much this breaking the universe down to numbers opens up this relationship with the magic and the beauty of this entire spiritual construct in which we operate in, as well as this will explain to you the matrix. This will explain to you the difference between the God of the Bible, of the Old Testament, and the Father spoken to by Jesus. This will explain to you the cube. This will explain to you rituals. This will explain to you the beauty of nature, the unfoldment of perfection. This will help you understand synthetic gematria and organic gematria. So I am so excited to go on this journey with each and every one of you. And again, this is just a whisper of a beginning. And the next video we jump into is going to be Gematria 101. And again, it's a 101 course in the beginning, and we will build up to the depthness. But even as an individual who makes my living doing natal charts and astrology, I am always benefited by going back and reading fundamental beginning text. Even as I've gone with this, stacked this much experience and dilated this much more understanding, every time I go back to the basics, I I make a connection to something that I didn't. I see something different. It's the same thing with the Kybalion. I've gone back to the Kybalion 20 or 30 times in my life, and I highlight something different each time. I come away with a different insight each time. You always want to revisit the fundamentals. You always want to revisit the principles because, yeah, you can go really deep into esoteric literature, but the deepest insight is always going to be an understanding that comes from within you. And the only way that uh, information of such high caliber can process through you and you can understand it is by your capacity to be able to be a transmitter of it and to actually contain it and not have it create, a spiritual breakdown. We are all in the process of going from 15-watt light bulbs to 80-watt light bulbs in an accelerated, concentrated way that has never been experienced before in this spiritual construct, in this timeline. Nobody is experiencing the dilated growth as you are in this very moment. And it's not going to stop, but you're going to become a better sailor. And it's not going to feel as overwhelming. And it's not going to feel like you're drowning in it and you're getting pushed away. No, you're going to localize it and you're going to activate it. And the tool of Gematria will assist you in the internal and the external navigation of this reality. And so I want to keep this one short because it is just a very basic introduction. And again, just a disclaimer for, anybody who's upset about the rate and the speed of what's going on. And even the idea of saying that's wrong. It's all going to be a presentation of what it's like, but it's not going to be able to say what it is. Even when we're breaking down the ciphers, and this will make more sense later, there's no absolute besides the numbers in this. And so take everything with an awareness, and this will make more sense as we're going through it. But more importantly, approach it with love, approach it with understanding and trust. And I promise you, these numbers, just like they guided you here, will guide you home. It's an honor to be on this journey with each and every one of you. Until next time.